if you recognise those quotes, you'll know they're from the TV show Game of Thrones, which is this week's theme. Thoughts on the theme this week, David?
When we first started talking about fantasy football, I think this one and probably Lord of the Rings were the two that were in my mind. Like they're the two that really seem to fit the whole idea really nicely. So yeah, Game of Thrones, really looking forward to it. Watched the TV show, read the books. I think I'm right in saying that we're going TV show only, really. So we're not gonna, and we'll probably be quite mainstream, to be perfectly honest. So don't expect like deep lore. But yeah. I think we are. I think this is Game of Thrones episode as opposed to A Song of Ice and Fire.
That's kind of down to the fact that I'm a bad fan and only watch the show.
So you're not a fan at all?
Yeah,
is what you're saying. You turned up for dragons and boobs, and as is tradition, we should probably start with manager. And I found there were loads of leaders. So I could have probably had a team of like 11 captains and a managerial set just as long. Did you have any thoughts for manager or assistant?
Yeah, like you say, really, there's so many different people in this that could have sort of been in control. It's kind of it's a bad week for that in a sense, because you could almost put anyone as the manager, and as we've seen at the end of the series, it was the person who was in the Iron Throne at the end wasn't necessarily the person you'd think it'd be. But looking at kind of like the proper planners, it still doesn't narrow it down too much. But my first thought was somebody like High Sparrow.
Oh, interesting. I didn't even pick him. How come?
Just because he's one of those that he doesn't say an awful lot, but he's plotting the whole time. And I think out of everybody, he probably would actually have like a strategy going on. But I'm happy for you to challenge it if you've got a different idea.
Well, I think it's the similar vein, to be honest with you. But I was thinking, again, about like a tactician. And I thought both weddings were big shots, right? You got the red wedding and the purple wedding, both like, whoa. But I thought that Joffrey dying was quite a big like moment.
Yeah.
And that was all organised by sort of a dream team of Lady Olenna, Tyrell, and Littlefinger.
It's tough because there's so many assistants in there. Like you could easily say, there's also, because there's kind of a lot of like secondhand men to people like Samwell and Littlefinger and Lord Varys. Say, there's so many people that are kind of like the assistant to the king / queen. But I'm happy to go with what you said.
Maybe we take one of them and then we can have like a proper coach as the assistant.
Yeah, you know what? The first person I thought when I thought assistant manager was somebody who'd be kind of like quite rough and like a bit of like a Craig Shakespeare, football under each arm kind of like head coach, and that'd be like a Robert Baratheon.
Oh yeah, okay.
Like he'd come in and he'd have a football under each arm that he brought with him, and and he'd sort of just be like getting them all rallied up and ready to play. But I don't know if that would be like the best like tactical approach.
Littlefinger and Robert Baratheon sounds. Maybe we could pick a nice foil to Robert Baratheon, or we could. We could go with a classic King in His Hand, couldn't we?
Yeah,
we could actually go Robert Baratheon as manager, but sort of like doing nothing.
Yeah, the face of it, but nothing else.
And we could then pop like maybe. I don't want to use Ned straight away. I feel like there's space for him later, but maybe we go with Jon Arryn, the one that kicks it all off. An older head, sort of like Baratheon is your Steve McLaren, and Jon Arryn is your Terry Venables.
Yeah, go with that. It's the most logical, I think.
That's not where I thought we'd end up, but hey.
No, me neither. But
when you start with Lady Olenna and Littlefinger and the High Sparrow and end up with Robert,
well, it's even harder now because we've got to pick the goalkeeper.
Oh God! Well, I'll throw the early one out there. Part of me was tempted just to say the Wall and just personify it, but I'm not going to do that. Hodor, because he did a good job of holding the door, but
true. Let's be honest. There's a lot of tough guys who could be a good goalkeeper. Yeah, but yeah. I think Hodor makes sense, doesn't it? Really, he'll hold the ball.
Yeah, I mean, It's not the strong. It's probably not the strongest pick. There's probably a really good one kicking out there somewhere. But
Yeah.
the other one, the other one we could go for. I might prefer this one. Is speaking of the Wall, who was a well-respected commander of it? Joe Mormont.
Oh, you know what? I love him in it.
We could go for the old bear. What do you reckon?
Yeah, because he's a he gets the job done, doesn't he? He's got experience in that field.
He was good at defending the Wall, so he'd be good at saving the ball. Don't think about this too much, otherwise you would definitely think he should be centre back. Let's just move on.
Yeah.
What formation are we going for?
I actually had a thought on this week because I know normally I go into this and it's the one thing I don't really remember, but I was thinking something like a 4-2-3-1. Because it's kind of like it's a solid attacking formation. We're obviously going to have a lot of attacking in this team, and also it's kind of shaped like an arrow, which is kind of like semi-relevant.
That semi-relevant is good enough for us.
Yeah, I think it sets us up in an attacking. It has to be attacking, doesn't it?
Oh god, definitely.
Because even the nicest character in this isn't very pleasant. That's just the show.
No, yeah, for 4-2-3-1 sounds good.
I think straight away as well, defensive lineup wise, I think we have to have Sandor Clegane in centre back, surely.
Yeah.
The Hound has to be there.
No way around it.
Yeah, beside him, God knows who goes next to him because that could be anyone.
Oh yeah, so he's going to be quite rough and ready. I almost just want to go for a big old bunch of bruisers.
Yeah, Brienne of Tarth.
Oh, do you know it's not a bad shout? She'd be a bit Rolls Royce as a defender as well.
Yeah, you could see
Ferdinand.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm up for that.
Yeah, that's them two sorted. Left
back.
That's
a right strong pair.
Yeah.
Now fullback. Well, I mean, we don't have to go to fullback, but I've said it now.
You know who I think could be a bit of like a Luke Shaw, like current Luke Shaw, so like a good Luke Shaw. It's somebody like Ramsay Bolton.
Show you're working.
Well, I mean, he's vicious, clearly, but he's also quite sort of. I feel like he'd be quite light on his feet, and sort of. I think he'd be able to run about the place, but he's kind of secretly brutal, where you don't realize how nasty he is till you get to him. And also, Ewan Rion, who played him, did soccer aid a few times, at least once, so he can technically play.
Yeah, and Bolton obviously is a place where there is a football club, so yeah. It's sort of made for him, really. We could have just done a whole team of Boltons.
Yeah, we could have actually.
Would have been. I mean, I'd have run out after Roos and Ramsey, to be honest. But no, for that, I think him on one flank would be nice.
We could have added Michael Bolton.
Yeah, I'm confused about when he specifically was in Game of Thrones. But then if we did a Bolton week,
yeah,
do you know what? We'll find him. I can't think of a Michael Bolton song to sing. Edit it in later. Be fine.
Was he the one that did "How Am I Supposed to Live Without You"?
I don't know. How does that go?
I'm wary of singing it because it'll be very bad. But it's where he says, "How am I supposed to live without you? Now that I've been loving you so long."
I can't really visualize it unless it's done unless you fully commit to it. But
well, that's very unfortunate.
One week, we'll get you.
Right back.
Yes, indeed. Back to the point of this. So, would you describe a fullback as being marauding?
Yeah.
Do you think then we could go for maybe a Dothraki?
Yeah, no, we've got to have one in there, I think, haven't we? We've got to mix it up.
I wonder which one it will be.
Will it be the only notable one?
Let's go for Kotha. No, Khal Drogo.
Yeah, that's
And
a
then
good point actually. Yeah, I think he'd be like a bit of like a Theo Hernandez, like proper tall and strong, but he's got a bit. He's quick and he's strong, so he's capable.
and I think, to be honest, and this might be controversial,
Yeah,
I'd probably give him the armband because he united the Dothraki, or a lot of the Dothraki, behind one banner. And I wonder if there's anyone else actually in the series who has shown quite such an ability to unite differing peoples.
true. And
Maybe it's up for debate.
I suppose as well, it kind of it'd mean that that might be how you keep the Dothraki on side. No pun intended, but kind of.
Yeah, pun very much intended. Right. Well, midfield.
Yeah. So we'll have three kind of midfield. So the central midfield, there's one attacking and two kind of defensive, I suppose. So I think for defensive, like the defensive midfielders, we've got so many kind of planners that we haven't used as obviously we didn't pick as the manager. It's hard to know where to start because there are so many.
But I've got. Oh, okay then. So I was thinking kind of like a vicious schemer. So I want to keep a bit of bite in there, but maybe someone that is also quite. As I'm saying this, I realize how much she got wrong and how poor she was at this. So apologies in advance, but I'm just going to say Cersei. I was going with Cersei Lannister.
That's a good point, actually. She has to be somewhere, doesn't she? I kind of forgot about her, weirdly.
But she makes a hell of a lot of missteps.
Yeah.
She's a red card waiting to happen. That's someone that's 2 foot in someone on the halfway line, no danger. Commentators are there going like, I just don't understand it. There was no danger. Didn't need to do that. Did not need to do that. What was she thinking? And like Jermaine Gina starts getting really angry at them on Match of the Day.
Yeah. But I think she'd be like one of those veteran players where you're like, I know she's maybe a bit she's a bit of a liability, but at the same time, she brings so much and she makes the team sort of like play for the team better. So it's kind of worth having that potential liability in.
I've suddenly thought that Tywin might actually be better for that though. Like you could actually get battle hardened commander.
True.
Actually has successful ploys. Is also a Lannister and probably can. Thinking about Robert Baratheon as the manager, Tywin can at least put on a happy face. I think Cersei would probably openly. The press conference afterwards, she'd just be openly oh well, the manager's tactics not great, but we won in spite of them.
Yeah, and I think I could see Tywin dinking it around the place like Scott Parker.
Yeah, should we go Tywin?
Yeah, like he wouldn't have the legs, but he's got the vision.
Is that late career Pirlo?
Yeah, definitely. It's a massive upgrade from Scott Parker, but
yeah, I feel like you're doing him dirty with Scott Parker. Not that Scott Parker was, I'm tying myself in knots here. Sorry, Scott, if you're a fan, which we have to assume he is. But
yeah. It's tough, alongside him, most of my thoughts are kind of the same kind of player.
I think we can have two.
I just feel like the Night King has to be somewhere, and I feel like we need like a bit of everything.
Ooh,
because he can't. I mean, he'd get the team, like he did with the entire army he built. I think he'd get everyone on side with him.
Yeah, and share the surname with Andy King.
Yeah, if anyone gets injured, they can come straight back.
Yeah, I think he'd be good in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's two leaders. He might knock heads with Tywin a bit, but
I think Tywin's. I think if it was Cersei, we're in trouble. I think Tywin's strong enough to sort of go, okay.
Yeah,
I'll let you have this one, pal. Then we've got, what is it? Wide midfielder, a sort of cam, and a striker.
Yeah. I've got an idea for a striker, and it's not the most obvious choice.
Okay.
I was thinking like it'd be good to have kind of like a, potentially reckless, but kind of he does the job sort of striker. So I was thinking someone like Euron Greyjoy.
Wow. Okie dokes.
Because he's kind of like he's the bad boy, but he, I think he'd sort of be like the arrogant, like Diego Costa type.
I was going to say Diego Costa. We keep getting Diego Costa in the team. I like it.
Yeah.
Put some respect on his name and all that.
You need one.
Yeah, great. Let's go for that. Let's go for a bit of Euron up front.
Then I've got the three attacking players really left.
Yeah, I'm going to go for my niche pick, but I don't really know where he'd go.
Okay.
It would be Syrio Forel, who is Arya's like tutor in the first series, and there's like theories that he was Jack and Hakar and stuff. And
no, I'd forgotten about that. That's a good idea.
I just thought he had the right level of charisma.
Yeah. It's very difficult now. There's so many people to choose from still.
I know, you feel like you're doing. We're gonna have to do like honourable mentions, aren't we?
Mm.
I don't know if Syrio takes a spot. He'd probably go out wide, but I just don't know if I feel like we're missing out on some biggies.
Well, I think he'd probably be. We've got to have a niche choice in there, I suppose, and I suppose he'd kind of be like a. He'd probably be sort of like a Frank Ribery, where he's like, "You're nearly 40, but you've got amazing technique."
Yeah, let's put Syrio in there. I mean, we can revisit Game of Thrones and break them down into the houses.
Yeah, my thought for the other wing is somebody. It's kind of underwhelming as a character, I think, but I really like them and I like the actor as well, and that's Oberyn Martell.
Oh yeah,
I just feel like he'd be like he'd be sort of like the foreign export. He'd be the continental player that brings something different.
Yeah.
But then I know obviously he got his head crushed when he tried to fight, so I'm not really sure if he'd sort of bottle it under the pressure.
Nah, he was up against like the odds in that fight way off. I'd back him. And also if he gets his head crushed, like the other guy's definitely getting sent off. I mean,
you'd like to think
you can always make a sub, right?
Yeah, that just leaves us with one less then.
And we're missing some luminaries. We're missing Daenerys. We're missing Arya. We're missing Eddard, Catelyn, Robb, Jon Snow. You know nothing, Jon Snow.
Melisandre. So many.
Varys hasn't got in the team. Lord Varys. Jorah Mormont as well. His dad's in there, but not him.
Yeah.
Weird.
But I think I weirdly don't feel too bad about leaving out Khaleesi, because after how Daenerys was like sort of a bit crap at the end of the series.
Yeah, I feel okay. It's not hit me as bad as I thought it would.
Until the last series, it should be straight, be first name on the team sheet. But that last series where she went from being perfectly fine to like a lunatic in one episode, and then after. She seemed to kind of be ready to fight, and then she made it so easy for Jon to kill her. There wasn't even like a fight scene or something. She just got stabbed, and that was it. And it was like, oh, is she dead? And you're like, oh yeah, that's it. Okay. What was all that for then?
It just felt a bit empty at the end, didn't it?
Yeah, it was kind of like, come on, hurry up now. Show's about to finish. Just kill her. And it was a bit weird after all that time watching it. So I'm happy to leave her out. I can't help but feel like we need to put Jon in there somewhere.
Do you know, I think Jon Snow as an attacking midfielder sounds about right.
You could sort of see him as like an Adam Lallana.
Can you?
Yeah, like sort of a bit finessey. Definitely. I mean, he got injured, but he came back, and kind of, I don't know, sort of a bit tricky.
If you want that headcanon that is a bit like Adam Lallana. If you want to give Adam Lallana that kind of like headline slot, that's fine. I like Adam Lallana, and I know you really like Adam Lallana.
It's what we all think. It's what we sort of all would like to think Adam Lallana will still reach.
Royal we in use there, I think. But yeah, no, this looks like a pretty strong team, even though we are missing some big names.
Yeah, no, definitely.
We'll have to come back and revisit in excruciating detail.
Oh yeah,
we'll have to come back and do like a by each house. We can do Westeros v Essos. We can do like boys v girls.
We could do 5-a-side, but for each of the different like sections.
That'd be sick. Like we can pad this out into, we can do a whole Game of Thrones series. This is also what I think will happen with Lord of the Rings. So by about season 5, people are just going to get the same content every week. Team names, stadium.
I've got a few team names, and I don't know if any of them are good, so I'll just go through them. I've got Borussia Dortmund Giantsbane.
Wow. Dortmund as well. God.
I know. That's another one we've missed. Ramsey Bolton Wanderers.
Fine.
Or Roose Bolton Wanderers, depending on preference.
You can't have both. You're not getting credit for 2.
Borussia Ho Dortmund. That's 2 Dortmunds, but you know.
You're not getting credit for 2 there either. So.
And I've got Westeros Bromwich Albion.
Oh, great, because I went with Westeros Ham.
Oh, right. There we go.
I like Westeros Bromwich Albion. I just think it's so stupid. It's like the other ones are all obviously better.
Yeah, but I think that's what makes it funny, because it's like, should we just? It's as if everybody knows that we're going to do it, and it's like, well, there we go, I've done it now.
If you'd asked 100 people, I reckon 70 of them would have done this and gone, pretty good, right?
Yeah. What about stadium? Have you got any stadium ideas? Because I've got none.
Well, it's kind of good you said about West Brom, really, because I can keep it in that sort of part of the world. Because the only one I've got is the Eerico. The Erie is in House Aaron's seat.
Yeah.
And the Rico is in where Coventry play. They're back there? They are back there. No, they never left.
They've gone. But
didn't Birmingham play there last season? Coventry have been out of Rico not too long ago, and then Birmingham were out of St Andrews and were playing at the Rico, I'm sure.
You know what, as well, I've actually just had a late thought, but feel free to go with yours. I remember that Porto Stadium is the Estadio de Drago, so I've put Estadio de Dragon.
Estadio de Drogon?
Yeah, even better. I can change a letter. That doesn't affect me.
Fine. And then we can say this is like a team project, and we both contributed, even though some of us contributed, less than others. Awesome.
It's 4-2-3-1 today for Westeros Bromwich Albion, playing at the Estadio de Drogon. The manager is me, Robert Baratheon, with my hand, John Arryn as assistant. Joe Mormont's in goal, with Ramsay Bolton, Sandor Clegane, Brienne of Tarth and Khal Drogo at the back. Tywin Lannister and the Night King anchor the midfield, with Syrio Forel, Jon Snow and Oberyn Martell just ahead. Up front, it's Euron Greyjoy.